Hi, guys. I am so sorry that I could not be with you guys today, but I have an awesome lesson for you guys. The topic of today's lesson is called Gas Happens. What to do when it happens to you. Did you know that every living thing passes gas? That's right, up to 14 times a day. Let's read this story and see what to do when it happens to you. Written by Julia Cook and illustrated by Anita Dufala. My name is Gus, but most people call me Gas. I wish it was because I could run really fast, but it's not, and I don't. Burp, toot. Yesterday at school, I was sitting in class working on my 10-minute math marathon speed test. We do them every morning, and I was doing great on mine. But then I felt a bubble full of air. It jiggled around inside me, but I pretended I didn't care. I wiggled around in my seat and readjusted my shirt, but before I could stop the bubble, I let out a great big burp. Gas leak, said Garth. Gross, said Mary, and everyone started to laugh. Shh, my teacher said. I need you to finish your math. Gas happens. Gus, I need you to say excuse me. Then, after lunch, I was taking my spelling test. We were all supposed to be quiet so everyone could think. But I felt another bubble, a bubble full of air. It jiggled around inside me. Was it the chili, the chips, or the pears? I wiggled around in my seat and readjusted my shirt, but before I could stop it, the bubble came out and I let out another big burp. Burp. Gas leak, said Dawn. Gross, said Linda. Shh, my teacher said. Keep working on your spelling test. I need everyone to do their best. Gas happens. Gus, please say excuse me. Then at the end of the day, during our personal silent reading time, it happened again, and this time it was worse. I felt another bubble, a bubble full of air. It jiggled around inside me, but I pretended it wasn't there. I wiggled around in my seat. Then I pulled on the side of my shoe, but before I could stop it, the bubble came out. Only this time it was a toot. Major gas leak, said Jack. Gross, said Maxine, and then everyone started to laugh. Keep reading, my teacher said, or I'll cut your recess in half. Gas happens. Gus, please say, excuse me. Excuse me. This morning when I got to the bus, Barbara was wearing her Celebrate Our Clean Air Act t-shirt, and she told everyone she wore it just for me. When we got to school, we didn't take our 10-minute math marathon speed test. Instead, our teacher taught us a new lesson, and she called it Gas Happens. What to do when it happens to you. Everyone and every living thing passes gas, except jellyfish and coral sponges. Gas happens. The jellyfish says, I don't do it. Neither do I, says the sponge. Every time you eat, drink, or talk, you swallow air. This air turns into gas bubbles that float around inside your digestive tract. When your body breaks down the food you eat, even more gas bubbles are formed. Gas bubbles stay inside your body only for so long, and then they need to come out. When the gas bubbles come out of your body, you pass gas and pop the bubbles. Sometimes when you pass gas, it really stinks. Other times, it doesn't smell that bad at all. Sometimes when you pass gas, it makes a loud noise, and other times you can't even hear the bubbles pop. Sometimes people pass gas on purpose, but most of the time they are just having a hard time controlling it. Gas bubbles can be very tricky. Some foods you eat can give you a lot of gas. Everyone's digestive system is different, and different foods affect different people in different ways. Chewing gum can give you gas because when you chew it, you swallow a lot of air. Just remember, everyone and every living thing gets gas and has to pass it, except jellyfish and coral sponges. Aren't you glad you don't have to do it, says the jellyfish. Yes, I am, says the sponge. Did you know that each and every one of you, including me, passes gas at least 14 times a day? Gas happens. From now on, when we're in class and one of us passes gas, remember, it happens to everyone, and nobody needs to laugh. Instead, what you need to do to see this problem through is to breathe in, breathe out, smile, and move on. Just think, it could have been you. If you are the one who has gas, remember there's a time and a place. If you have a bubble that's on its way out, do all you can do to save face. Excuse yourself from the room. Turn your head and cover your mouth. And always say, excuse me, if your gas bubble travels south. Don't let a little gas bubble ruin what we need to do. Breathe in, breathe out, smile, and move on when gas is passed at school. You seriously want us to breathe in? Barbara said. That might not be such a great idea. true, my teacher said. I think I need to add a step. Step 1, turn your head. Step 2, breathe in. Step 3, breathe out. Step 4, smile. And step 5, move on. This afternoon, it was our turn to have Betty Jean, the read to me dog, in our classroom. I was reading out loud to Betty Jean when she must have felt a bubble full of air. It jiggled around inside her. But she acted like she didn't care. She wiggled around on the floor, and then she tugged at her fur. But before she could stop it, the bubble came out. But the bubble wasn't a bird. Gas happens. We all turned our heads and wrinkled our noses. Then we breathed in and breathed out, smiled, and moved on. I kept right on reading to Betty Jean because everyone and every living thing passes gas except jellyfish and coral sponges. I'm so glad I don't have this problem. Me too. Now we just need to figure out a way to teach Betty Jean to say, "Excuse me." The end. I hope you guys learned some important information about what to do when gas happens. Think about a time that this has happened to you or happened in class. What was the reaction of people around you, and how could they have reacted different? If someone laughed at you, what feelings were you experiencing? Share an experience with those around you. Again, can't wait to see you guys, and I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving.